got sound. I think we have. Yes, we've got sound. Always a relief.
There we go.
Well, thank you all for joining us on this very strange night in August, because it's supposed to be the bank holiday. People are going away on holidays for the weekend, and they're going to sunbathe and take their tents, and it's been pretty awful today. We get the odd burst of sunshine, but the rain when it comes down is rather heavy.
It is, indeed.
Very changeable.
And by the way, that sound is obviously not me printing the questions at 1 minute past.
No. Phil is much more organised than that. Look, he's got an arm on both sides of the glasses today.
Look at that. Are you impressed?
He didn't buy new ones, he pinched my old ones.
Yeah, Caroline's old ones. Good, aren't they? They work.
They do for you, they never worked for me. Anyway, let's have a look. Oh, Elizabeth said we have sound, but sound far away. Ooh, no, I'm not sure what's causing that. Just a second, I'll have a look at my magic box of tricks down here. No, my desktop audio's off, so we've not got a double mic working. Was that you?
Yeah.
Oh, Phil's turned his on now, so we will sound rather weird. And let's have a look who were first in tonight. Oh, sounds okay on ours, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Right then, first one in tonight was the Victorian Mudlark, so well done, Adam.
Ooh,
Second place, Ed Creative has Cakey. You didn't have to rub it in, Ed. Everybody around to Ed's, quickly, before you eat it all. And in third place is Bonnie Tyler Fan 34, well done. And just pipped to the post this week was Lexi B, Lexi's Larks and Crafts. Right, so there's lots of chats going on, and I didn't notice earlier on that Mike isn't going to be in with us tonight because he's gone to Lake Erie, is it? I think it was Lake Erie.
Oh, there we go. Right,
so wherever you are, Mike, sorry if I got that wrong. It's just that I will never find your comment in all these comments.
We will see you next week.
Oh, Derek's in, is he? I don't know, I can't see you. Yes. Hello, Derek!
Hello.
How lovely to see you joining us again.
Wonderful.
It has been a while, hasn't it?
It has indeed.
Lovely to see you back.
Fantastic, Derek. Hope you're keeping well, mate. Hope you're keeping well. It's always lovely to see old friends back in the chat. They've been away for a while. That's great.
Elizabeth said, never mind, it was operator error.
Oh,
it's nice when it's not my fault, it usually is.
We'll stop projecting our voices now, Elizabeth.
Then we shouted.
We'll behave now.
Right, so where are we? Oh, there's no sugar in Ed's cake. Even better for me. I'll come and have 2 cakes.
Oh, I tell you, Ed's into his cooking.
If you want to take over the show,
well?
I can be down to Ed's before the end of the show.
You already told him you were going down for the pizza.
Yeah, so I'll be down by about 9:45, okay? So it's going to be just Phil tonight. I'm off cake.
That's one thing. There's never a lack of food themes in our shows.
No, we do all have a bit
or
of
in
food.
our Facebook, or in our comments on the videos. Seems to be food everywhere. We've had what have we had this week? Or if I recall, we had cheesecake. There was a lovely picture of cheesecake. I think that was Anne and Jason. They've been eating at a particular restaurant, which was part of a group of restaurants doing a fundraiser, which raised $51,000. 61 restaurants, and they were doing cheesecake.
Lovely.
And I know Ed, he's been on the old pizza baking. And it seems he baked his pizza and then forgot about it.
Oh, you didn't? I saw the thing saying
but then he remembered.
we made it with bicarb or something because
Yeah.
he didn't have yeast.
He remembered and he said it was still edible.
I do read the comments over on Facebook, but I don't always get the time. Phil will reply to them. That's mainly his domain. But I read them all. It's just that I don't always reply. But I've had a bit of spare time the last couple of days, so I have been replying. But it's probably going to go quiet again now for a while.
And of course, there has also been edible dinosaurs.
Oh yes, did you see that video?
I think that was Ed as well.
Oh, you're just making a chocolate egg. We've all seen big chocolate eggs, and then you see what he turns it into. I could eat a whole one of those. I need a cup of tea to wash it down with, but I reckon I could eat a whole one.
And obviously Ed was on a dinosaur theme because he was also putting up the video from Dan Rogoff.
Yes.
Where
which
they've
isn't
got
far from us.
animated, or not animated, is it animated?
Animatron.
Animatron, that's a nice word. Animatron dinosaurs down at Dan Rogoff.
That's brilliant. If ever you get a chance to go to Dan Rogoff show caves, the caves are fabulous. And where they're all lit up and they're all pretty colours and very cold though. Even if you go in the summer, you'll need a cardigan or a coat. Right then, Linda said, did Manky want to stay home or did you forget him last video? As if we'd forget Manky.
Us? Me and Caroline, 2 people, one approaching 60 and one past 60. Not to mention any other ailments that we may have encountered in recent years. Forget something.
The problem we've got is Manky's terrible. If he's decided...
Never where he ought to be.
He does love going to the gym and he loves discos. Now, if we're going away over the time when his favourite disco's on, or if he's meeting with his mates down the gym, then he hides and he knows we'll forget him if he's hiding. And he was hiding again, so he's been happy wandering. I did hear that he popped over to the States because he has some friends over there.
Yes.
Squirrels.
And at least it means that we're not going to end on the usual argumentative debate. Unless Mini Beast has been counting the sheep. Because Mini Beast said, shall I count the sheep instead? So Mini Beast was going to rewind and count all the sheep in that window.
Yes.
Which I haven't done, so I wouldn't be able to answer that one. And Mini Beast has actually starred. Because Phil put up a picture of Mini Beast. How was it he described his picture? Spotted wild Mini Beast in Prestatyn ice cream parlour. And I did advise him, approach with care, as Mini Beasts are very protective when it comes to their ice creams.
They are.
As are we all.
Don't touch my ice cream.
That's right.
Right then, so should we get on with the question and look really efficient? I think that would be a good idea.
We did that last week and it worked well. We almost finished at 10 o'clock.
Almost. Right, so
right, here we go. All I need now is a list.
Concentration.
All I need now is a question. There we go. I've got questions.
Good idea.
I've got questions. I have. And the first question is about bells, because that was some tower that I climbed to get to see them bells. It was great, but gosh, I looked at the steps going in at the beginning, and I thought, oh, nice, steady, easy climb. Then they got a little more sheer as you went up, and then it was like climbing a ladder at the end. And that passageway, there were 2 narrow pieces of passageway, and I answered somebody in the comments today, and I said, I've got to be honest, if I'd paid my £4 to climb that tower and then found that I was too big to fit through, I'd have felt robbed. Yeah. Because I don't know how they politely suggest to any tourist that you may not be able to get there. You know, how do you raise the subject of you look a little too wide to get through? Because if you're broad along the shoulders, it was.
You wouldn't have to be overweight as such. You just, if you were well built, if you got big shoulders, you weren't going to get through.
I was touching on either side. Going through there, but it was well worth the £4 and the fear. The church is totally free if you go there, folks. And if you go there on a day when they are not building
a stage and a sound system
and installing a sound system
to try and make that church look good with people running everywhere,
and drills going, electric saws,
boxes and boxes, big sort of tubs on wheels full of equipment.
But in fairness,
busy.
At 10:30 they stopped everything. The minister got up, he led a Eucharist, and then at 11 o'clock they all went back to work again. They still running their services each day, twice a day, in spite of all that's going on. Totally free to look around the church, but in order to sustain and maintain the tower, by putting a charge on, it does give them a way of fundraising. So I didn't mind paying the £4, but I did think, gosh, imagine getting halfway up and you can't go.
Oh, I'm scared.
But,
or even get too scared to come back down, because for some people it's not just the going up, it's the coming down and looking down. So
fortunately, each flight of stairs was relatively short. It was the drop from ceiling to floor. The highest was probably in the bell ringing chamber, and it was probably only about 12 feet.
Nothing like St. Paul's. We went up the dome in St. Paul's Cathedral.
That was creepy.
That was really scary. I didn't like that. And I don't mind heights, but I just felt really vulnerable. You felt like you were dangling.
I'm sure the one sign on the way up says, we do everything we can to make you safe, but we don't take responsibility if you die, sort of thing, you know. Something along those lines. Didn't quite put it like that. But
that was about 30 years ago, over 30 years now. So you may find either they've stopped you doing it or it's safer now.
Well, as I say, it wasn't that safe in the tower.
No.
You know,
it wasn't that
safe.
Phyllis said we were concerned about you up there, Phil.
I kept my back on the slates. There was a tower slate roof, and I kept my back on there, and I thought, as long as I don't look down, I can just pan the camera. and the one voiceover was filmed on location, but not while I was up there.
No.
I did it when I was back on terra firma. The first piece of speech I did up on the roof. The second piece of speech I did down on the ground and then cut it in over.
It felt a lot safer.
It felt better to just move the camera and not try and do two things at once.
Beata said she was thinking in St Paul's it was tight.
Yeah,
right, so you can still go up St Paul's.
Okay, this question anyway, I got carried away there talking about the tower. The bells.
The bells.
The bells. Esmeralda. The bells in the church tower, I thought, were very impressive. And they have a combined weight of almost 5 tons, which might be a bit of a clue. But they're not the same bells that were stolen and taken off to France in 1377 and then returned from France by the people of Rye and what's the town next door? Is it Winchelsea?
Winchelsea, I think.
Winchelsea. Yeah. Those two towns, fellas got together, got on a boat, went over, said, "Guess our bells," took them back.
They probably said a bit more than "give me my bell back."
They
I think they got rather aggressive.
Yeah, they might have even said it in French, in which case I'm lost. Anyway, they are different bells because they were recast in 1775 and bells were added. The question is, in total, at this moment, how many bells are there for the bell ringers to ring? Is it A, 4, B, 8, or C, 12?
Go.
In that tower, how many bells? So we're not including the little bells on the clock. The bells that are hung in the tower that make up the almost 5 ton of metal. Do you think it was 4, 8, or 12?
I did think when you said, if they say "give me back my bells" in French, I was thinking the only thing you could say is "give me back my baguettes."
I couldn't even say "give me back." I just stand there and say "une baguette, s'il vous plaît, deux baguettes." I'd be very polite, right? I'd be saying please.
What the French word for bells is now? What's the French word for bells? Anybody know what the French word for bells is?
Le ding dong.
It could be.
Well, they got le CD, so why wouldn't they have le dingy dong?
I don't think
and microwave in Welsh is poppity ping. So why not have le ding dong? Or is it la ding dong? Le deux ding dong. I'm getting more fluent in French all the time.
It would be le if it was ding dong. Because when they steal English words, they put le in front.
Ding dong le da.
Right, so we're not getting rushed with lots of comments on what a cloche. Thank you. Mid Beast, Ed, Victoria Mudlark. Beata said it's Glocker in German. But yeah, his cloche is donnez-moi mes cloches.
Ooh, that's good. Very good.
When I sound really menacing, would you give me back my bells if I came up to you and said, donnez-moi mes cloches?
I think it's interesting though, because I made a comment the other day about how we can get so wrapped up in nationalism and forget the fact that we're such a bunch of mixed backgrounds. And when you realise the French were attacking Rye and the people of Rye were going over and attacking France, and yet Rye is one of the cinq ports, which is French.
Oh, he's good. He's good.
See,
he just rolls off the tongue. The now,
having done my studying for this particular film, I could ask for 5 baguettes, but I don't think we could eat them all before they went.
Go on then. This new sentence. Try it out. Go on.
5 baguettes, s'il vous plaît.
Oh,
how's that?
It's all right.
Yeah. So it's quite funny.
Well done. I'm going to send you out for lots of baguettes when we're in France.
Because obviously,
go buy me 5 baguettes.
The Normans had come from Normandy. They spoke French, so the language of the upper classes in our country at the time of the Normans and afterwards was French. So when the king created 5 militarized ports, he called them the cinq ports. So we're using the French language and getting attacked by the French. So it just seems crazy. Why don't we why don't we just all say, come on, let's get on.
When have we ever done that as a world?
At the end of the day. if we check our DNA, we're all mixed muddled up anyway.
If we get all the world to join in with Let's Go with the Johnsons, come on our Facebook page and they'll all get to like each other and we'll have solved world peace.
That's it.
And so unite the world into
our new mission, we've given up mudlarking, we're taking up world peace.
Yes, I think we could do it.
That's what we're going for now. Who needs to find a cod bottle when you can find world peace? Yes. That's what I say.
So our aim then is how many billion people are on the planet?
I don't know, about 9.
9 billion. So we need
on the way to 9.
When we've got 8 billion people joined our group,
we only
then
need
we're nearly there.
If we can get half of them, we'll be alright. 4.5 billion will do. Talking of mudlarking as well.
Beata says one Glocker, so it's ein Glocker, zwei is 2, zwei Glocken. You've got to say Glocken with an N on the end for plural. Whereas we would put S on the end.
There you go. Anyway, mentioning mudlarking, Adam put up a good picture this week.
Ed said, I have a little French in me, mostly baguettes from Paris and custard slices from Cherbourg. Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to try
I do like
anymore.
my Parmesan. Adam put up a picture this week of a lovely find, a clay about this, well, it looked about this big, complete with the handle, everything, and that was looking very nice. He did say that perhaps he should have smiled more for the photograph, but as I said, he did look impressed, even if he didn't look happy. What are you laughing at there?
Rachel Bailey said, my mum always says all she wants is world peace and Cliff Richard.
Hey,
well, we may be able to get world peace, but I don't know if we can arrange Cliff Richard because you've got to pay a lot of money to book him up.
Rachel, if I'd known that a week ago, we were in a charity shop and somebody had given in their collection of Cliff Richard books, and they were some smart books. There was a book of all photograph plates of Cliff Richards. They must have been 30-40 quid books, and they were 50p each because they were in the 50p charity shop over in Bernardo's.
Oh, my mother used to love
Cliff Richards.
Cliff Richard, yes.
Have his calendar every year.
Him and Tommy Steele, I think, was the other one she liked.
Tommy Steele was big in the day, yeah. Tommy Steele,
he was never really that big, but he was famous.
Yeah, that's it. But we know him from Arthur Sixpence and everything, but he was a bit of a rocker in the beginnings. Yeah.
Oh, hello, Dorothy.
Anyway, we did start well because 10 minutes ago we asked a question.
I
haven't given the answer yet.
Right, come on then. Give the answer, quickly. Come on.
I'm now going to give the answer.
Everybody's forgotten the question now.
How many bells are there for the bell ringers to ring? Now, there is a way that you could have come to this knowledge mathematically and observationally, because when I pointed to the ceiling and said they've tied all the ropes up because they thought Caroline might come up here and pull them, you will have been able to count. There were 8 ropes. There were 8 ropes attached to 8 bells. And there's a pub called the 8 Bells.
There is.
In Dover.
There is.
It's a Weatherspoons.
Well, I'm going to be in Dover a week Thursday. I can't wait.
You are. We're going to be in Dover a week Thursday.
Because I'm going to be on my way to France.
On our way to France.
That's why I thought we'd have a French intro today.
Yes.
Oh, I just
Caroline
love being
is
over
very
France.
excited. A couple of weeks ago she said, I'm really missing France, I'd love to go to France. And then I clear the kitchen, put the stuff in the dishwasher and then come down because we got an upside down house. And I said, I come down, I said, we're going to France. She said, how? I said, I just booked it. And off we go. Okay, so we're after 8 bells, which is B, which is B for bell. So I have to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th answer is the first correct answer. And then I've got 3 in a row. So the first correct answer is Carlin.
Well done, Carlin.
Second, Beata.
Well done, Beata.
And the third one, it is the man with the anchor.
Well done, Adam.
So we've got Carlin, Beata and Adam, 3 in a row. But we had 6 incorrect answers first, and then we got a couple of incorrects after. So pretty even split. I think over the lot, we probably had about a third of the answers were correct. But there we go. That's the correct answer. 8 bells up there, 5 ton.
Ed said there's a 6 Bells pub near Cardiff if it's still open. It sounds very familiar. I know we got a town called 6 Bells.
Colliery,
so maybe that's why it was called 6 Bells and they built 6 Bells town around it. And Linda said it didn't like much security to prevent tourists from diving off the tower or taking a swing on the bells. No, I like that. Taking a swing on the bells.
There was nothing to stop you coming off the top, but they did have security cameras so they'd be able to know you were on your way down. If you took a jump, then they'd know you'd left the
But
premises.
they'd hear the noise. Oh, yeah, there.
Yeah,
If you jumped onto the bells or two.
If you jumped off the tower, they would know a second before you landed that you'd left because they had security cameras.
Oh, there we go.
Because when I was paying my £4 to go up, the lady said, "Oh, look at that cute little boy up there." She was watching him on the telly, and somebody had gone up with a 2-year-old, and he was running around up there.
Yeah.
There's
Don't think I'd want to take a 2-year-old up there.
Yeah, well, the problem is obviously you'd have to carry them up, and then through the logistics. I didn't even take Caroline up there, and I'm glad too because I don't think Caroline.
I could have got up, but I couldn't go down. I don't know if any of you got dicky knees, but coming down is worse than going up. It's
especially
really
where the
frustrating.
steps became virtually a ladder. So I'm fortunate. My knees and hips are pretty okay, so I can do it. So.
Oh, hello, Peggy. Hope you're feeling a bit better. Poor old Peggy's had COVID. Not very nice, is it?
Oh dear, that's not nice at all.
Oh, thank you, Jeannie. Yes, please give us a thumbs up. Hit the like button. How many thumbs up have we got? We got 29 thumbs up and 48. We've got 48 on your page watching.
48 watching,
Yeah.
and we've got 30 thumbs up. Thank you very much.
Oh, we're up to 31 now. So thank you. And the thing is, what he does is it tells YouTube that people like watching our videos, because if we don't get thumbs up, people think YouTube interprets that as, oh, people are not enjoying it, and then they don't show our videos to anyone. It's very complex, this algorithm. Right, oh yes, Dorothy said, Manky missed the toy owl in the bell tower. At least there were no bags. I was a bit worried if we had taken Manky, he would have tried to sit on the bells. And can you imagine? So I was glad he wasn't with us. Oh, Minnie B said 51 watching on my screen. They're rushing in crowds. Wow, it's like the sales in Harrods. Right then, let's have a look for it's not another question because it's getting late.
It's not.
It is.
It's not. We have the advantage tonight, you see, that we don't have to have the debate at the end as to whether I counted the right number of monkeys.
This is true.
Because somebody did comment at the end of the thing, I am confident in my monkey count this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all pretty confident this time. Did you notice that Minibeast had put in a joke?
No.
Kung Fu Panda's script in the first draft for Kung Fu Panda's script, the country of origin was written as TH instead of CHN. However, it was just a typo, spelled THAIPO.
Oh, very good. Very
I'd have to
intellectual,
spell
that
it.
one.
Yeah, it's a bit. Show it off, see? I'm struggling with counting to 5 in French and they speak in Chinese.
Right then, okay then,
Right.
so since we're not getting to the point,
Should I do
I
a
will say,
question?
Ed was saying, checked and the 6 bells, Peter Stone went, Luke, closed since 2018. So don't go rush into the 6 bells in Cardiff, it's closed.
Indeed. Right then, we are now going to go from the bells to the powerful stone.
Ooh, the great stone.
The great stone. The great stone. Oh, that's the big stone. Oh.
Anyway, that's enough of the Vicar of Dibley.
Yeah, Vicar of Dibley that was. Vicar of Dibley, and somebody said, oh, do you remember the Great Storm? I said, oh, that wasn't the Great Storm, that was just the big wind. And they all
Anyway.
debated. The powerful storm of 1287 affected 3 of the Cinque Ports, destroying the harbours at New Romney, which is where Mark and Julie live. They live at New Romney, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they mentioned this question's inspired by one of their comments. Hastings, remember we did a bit from Hastings Castle, where half the castle fell down, landed in the port, that was the end of that. And Winchelsea, which actually, the impact there was phenomenal because the storm destroyed the entire town and the port, and they had to rebuild the town up on the hill inland. That's how bad it was there. But as the coastline was redrawn by nature, Rye woke up to a very different world. As the River Rother, and that's not easy to say,
The River Rother.
the River Rother that used to run through Romney,
Not a River Rother.
the River Rother that used to flow through New Romney into the sea, was now flowing in a new direction and had arrived at Rye. They woke up and had a river going into
Rye.
the River Rother moved from Romney and arrived at Rye. As a result, Rye was the only place they could get the big boats into the deep water of the river, and it grew, became a sank boat. The question I want to ask is, how far did the mouth of the River Rother move along the coast? Was it A, 5 miles, B, 10 miles, or C, 15 miles?
Go.
How far did it move?
Again, we're very bad. We like when when they get these
we're
people
like,
talking with a delay on the satellite, and we just stood next to each other.
Yeah, we're in the same room. We're 2 feet away. We're like Richard and Judy. Late at night.
More like Punch and Judy. Right, we got a joke in hot off the press from Mini Beast.
Oh.
What do you call a male panda? Amanda. Very good, very good.
Oh.
And Phyllis said, you guys are dressed snazzily tonight, special occasion. Well, I'm wearing my very expensive, as I always do, top. I paid a lot of money for this. See? It's black. It's like a navy blue with a spot on. Got this for £1 in the pound shop. My favourite shop, my favourite price. And
I paid £1 for my jacket.
This jacket that I paid £1 for.
My jacket cost £1.
You did pay a lot of money. You got
yeah.
that from eBay. And it was about £7 or £8 during COVID. We couldn't go out and find any clothes. So we had to buy from eBay then, didn't we?
And the reason that I am dressed like this evening is because it may be August, but it's rather chilly here in Wales. So I have a jumper and a jacket on tonight. And I generally wear jackets around the place because that way then I've got room in my pockets for all of my stuff.
Phil doesn't wear jackets, he wears briefcases.
Yeah.
Sometimes you pick his jacket
my
and what's
handbag.
in this jacket?
I just filofax myself. I got glasses, phones, diaries. Anyway, we'd better get back to how far did the River Rother move?
Did the River Rother run richly down the rugged rocks?
Possibly. Let's have a look. I'm going to get back to the top. Right then. Okay. Well, the actual answer is it moved approximately 15 miles. The mouth of the river moved 15 miles. Can you imagine that? You get a storm, and when it's all over, the river's gone. And it's shifted crossland, and it's now entering the sea 15 miles down the coast.
I bet the Mudlarkers had an amazing time, though, because they could go and check the whole dry riverbed then.
Oh, aye. Yeah, if only we'd been there in 1287.
I know.
Mind you, they had some phenomenal... I was checking up on weather events, and it seems that they had 2 storms that year. There was one in the North Sea as well that killed hundreds of people and destroyed a lot of places. And there was one in 1700 and something, which killed between 8,000 and 15,000 people in a storm. Of course, frightening to think, isn't it? Yeah, the weather, very, very dangerous thing when it gets going. Anyway, move 15 miles, so we need a C. And the first C we've got is from...
You need a C.
Judy. Judy
well done, Judy.
And the second C we've got is a little way down. Most people go with A's and B's. But we didn't catch out Rachel Bailey.
Well done, Rachel.
So we've got Judy, Rachel, and now we're looking for that final podium position.
While Phil's looking, we got another joke in from Mini Beast. Brace yourselves. A panda walks into a bar. He sits down and orders, "I'd like 1 whiskey and a Coke, please." Okay, then somebody got to explain that one to me. I don't get it. Do you get it?
I know what to do about it. Sits down and orders, and like 1 whiskey and a
it's not the end of the joke. That's why I didn't get it. There it is. The bartender brings him his drinks and asks, here you go, but why the big pause? The panda looks down to his hands and says, "I was born with them." So that's very good. But
built in the pause.
When it was just the first bit, I was like, I really don't get this.
That's right. You were in the pause. Look.
Yes,
you were
I was. I was in the pause.
You were in the pause. Okay, so coming back after being rudely interrupted to announce the third podium. So we've already... chaos.
It's 9:30. We haven't even got the last answer, the third podium.
I know.
Of the second question.
So Judy is on gold. Rachel is on silver. And Elizabeth Robson
Well done, Elizabeth.
And a special mention to Sandy, because C's are few and far between,
Right.
and Sandy was directly behind.
Oh, well done, Sandy.
There's a couple more below, but it was neck and neck, and Elizabeth came up first on the screen. So there we go. Well done, folks. Excellent.
Right.
Now, Ed, something we've had come up is bricks. Bricks.
Okie dokie. So you want some pictures, do you?
So, if we have a look at, because they've come up on Facebook, but Rachel sent me an email, and she with some bricks.
That's not bricks. Hang on. Wait.
Yeah, there's the bricks. There's the bricks at the local Dock Museum. Rachel Bailey's been down to the Dock Museum, and they've produced millions of bricks up there. They're a bit like the Ebervale brickworks down here, because there was masses of building work going on. And as you can see, they've got them very neatly displayed. They're very proud of their bricks. And here's another display cabinet and a few photographs, but we just put these two up because this was quite interesting, because this shows some of the domestic things of yesteryear with fairy soap. I think you can still get that, can't you? Wouldn't be in that packaging now. Oxo, you can still get that. Yeah, there's a few things here that you can still get hold of, but totally different packaging these days. Your Oxos come in a cardboard box, not in a metal tin now. Yeah, so they were pictures from Rachel, from the visit that Rachel made to the local Dock Museum.
Yeah. Always interesting to see things like that. And they tend to have the cream, or the creme de la creme, on display, so you get to see some really lovely things. Oh, cold
we
now.
also had a picture of Oliver. It's not on the screen, it's actually over on the Facebook, so folks, have a look over there if you haven't seen it. Oliver proudly displaying one of his latest brick finds, which was a London brick company,
Yes.
LBC Brick, and picture went up this time of a donkey brick.
Oh, I like that. I
Michelle
was impressed
said,
with
I
that.
saw this and thought of Phil.
Yeah.
Are they rare? So I've done a little bit of research on donkey bricks. There was a bit of a piece with it from the person who originally bought it, and it seems you can still buy.
Donkey bricks.
They call them donkeys. They call them donkey stones, and they no longer have a donkey on them.
Oh, you got one with a donkey on?
But they don't. It's a bit like Hoovers.
Right.
If you in Wales, no matter what make your cleaner is, you'll still hear somebody say, "I'm going to put the Hoover around." Even though 90% of them don't own a Hoover.
No.
And it's the same with the donkey brick or the
Right.
donkey stone, because one of the first companies to produce them, they were stones that were sort of they are like a brick. They were that size, about that thick, but they were made for rubbing on your front doorstep. The women used to use them to rub the front doorstep to give them a deep clean. And it turns out the reason they first brought them out was the floors were very slippery in the mills. So they had possibly children doing the job there, scouring the floor to rough it up, to give it some kind
That's
of...
what they used them for. I thought they were a bit like we see them sometimes, and they're electricity things, and they go over the top of wires to warn you that there's electricity
No,
cables.
these
I
were
thought it was
actually...
for
No,
donkeys to walk over wires.
dear.
Okay.
No, donkey was the name given by the company.
Oh, there's me thinking all these
They're
donkeys over the years have been
scouring
walking over them.
stones that have been named after the trademark of one of the earliest companies that was making them about 200 years ago.
Right.
So many companies are making sense, and interesting enough, then they started calling them, somebody produced one and called it the lion or the duck. So they were all going with animal themes but producing their own stones.
Right.
But there are a couple of markets up in the north. There's a firm in Lancashire still making them because there are people that still swear by them for cleaning their front step. And for as long as they can flog them, they will.
Yeah, but I don't think I'd be cleaning my front doorstep with a brick.
In answer to Michelle's question, I would
That's easier with cloth.
say that they probably are pretty rare because they were the sort of thing that you wouldn't hang on to.
No,
You
it's not.
know,
You wouldn't sort of
and-
keep it for posterity, would you?
The ones with a donkey on are very early.
No,
'cause
I'd
they
love
were
them with
the
a
first
donkey on.
ones. But yeah, that was a cracking thing. So we had the donkey brick, we had the London Brick Company from Oliver, and we had the bricks from Rachel. So we've had a few interesting. Oh, and Stephen.
Yes, Stephen.
Yes, Stephen sent a very interesting brick sculpture picture.
Oh, yeah.
And he thought maybe I should build one.
That was Stephen, was it?
I believe it was.
I thought it was Ed.
Well, If it's Ed, I'm giving credit to Stephen.
Whoever you are, thank you.
I thought it was Stephen, but if it was Ed, then Ed
We're
don't
both
mind.
as daft as
Put it
each
this
other.
way.
It's not just me.
Ed put up pizza.
Hmm.
He put up Haunted Castle Story. He had the Dinosaurs of Danarogov, chocolate dinosaurs.
Yeah,
He's
brilliant.
put up his first attempt at an A3 watercolour. He's done moonshots of Panda going into outer space, to name but a few. So I'm sorry, Ed, if I credit somebody else, but I think it was Stephen that put up the interesting brick sculpture. But we'll find
Okay,
out
Ed,
after the
let's
show.
solve this. Was it you?
Oh no.
Confess, was it
Who
you
put
or
up the
was
brick
it not?
sculpture?
So I think Steve's in here tonight, is he? Right, what do we have? Some news, because time's
Yes.
going on.
Good idea.
Right then, we got some happy news. Will you stop it? Phil says, you have that one. No, you have that one. Which
Which one
that?
do you want? Which one?
See where my finger lands. Top one?
Go on then.
The bottom one's shorter.
Go on then. I don't
Okay,
mind.
one lady makes a difference. Henrietta, I love the name Henrietta, 63 from Bermondsey, South London, has opened a pop-up food bank near her home in South London for people who need it. The whole project started by offering food and other supplies after the food bank at her local church had to close. She used her own money to begin with, but now also receives donations from locals and supermarkets. Henrietta said, "It pleases your heart when you do something good for people, but everybody should help each other." And isn't that wonderful? Because when these things close, you can think, no, there goes another thing. But this lady thought, okay, I'll start my own. I wouldn't have thought it was very prolific at first. Maybe she's very wealthy, and it was. But it's great now that other people are joining in and she can help out people, because it really is getting tough at the moment financially. So
there's
food banks are so necessary.
Well, that's it. And at the moment, although obviously the cost of living crisis affects everyone, it obviously affects the poorer people disproportionately. And it is lovely when people think, well, yeah, I haven't got as much as I had, but I've got a little more than I need, and I'm going to use it for someone else. And that's what I loved, as you said. The lady thought, I'll do something. You know,
Yep.
obviously for some reason her church had to close their food bank. So she thought, well, it still need help.
That's it. The need doesn't go away, does it?
She literally went out with a couple of shopping bags, stood in the middle of the street and just put the stuff out on the bench and let people take it. And just, you know, if you need it. And then they got to know where she was.
Yeah.
And then other people got to know. And then the local shops got to know. Sometimes all it takes is someone to do something.
And the people who want to join you but have not got that, whatever it takes to start something. So it's great when somebody starts it, because then people can say, well, I'll help. And it just snowballs.
Absolutely.
Right then, I was wrong. See, this is why whenever somebody says comments to me on this channel or on my art channel, I never answer names unless it's in your in your little name thing,
There you go.
because I forget people's names. And it was
Steve.
Ribble Fines and Class.
Yeah, it was Steve.
It was Steve.
There we go.
So sorry,
I thought
Steve.
it was. I thought it was.
I know, I'm a terrible, terrible person for answering comments tonight.
Shall we have another question?
Why not? That's what I say. Can't find my question thingy though. Just a second.
Is
Got
there
it.
something?
There we go.
Right then. Rye Grammar School. Right there on the High Street in Rye. Showed you some pictures of the grammar school, which has been there for nigh on 400 years.
Neon. It's like a neon.
Nigh
Only
on.
different.
It's like a neon, yeah. 1636. That's when it opened. But there are much older schools around the country. And that includes St. Peter's School in York, which counts Guy Fawkes among its alumni, as well as one of his co-conspirators, Mr. John Wright. And those pair were working together on destroying the Houses of Parliament about 3 decades before Rye Grammar School opened. So they'd gone to school, left school, got an idea, and attempted to destroy the Houses of Parliament all 3 decades beforehand. How many years older is St. Peter's School, York, than the Rye Grammar School? Is it A, 500 years older, B, 750 years older, or C, 1,000 years older?
Go. Go, didn't go.
It's not going. You can't, you don't even know.
It's gone now. It's gone now.
How much older do you think St. Peter's School in York, which was the school of Guy Fawkes and one of his school buddies, they grew up to become very famous, at least Mr. Fawkes did, as for many a year they celebrated his, well, not so much his life, but his demise, as a result of his failed attempt to destroy Parliament. How many years older is their school than the grammar school? The grammar school at Rye is, give or take a bit, 400 years. So do you think theirs is 500 years older, 750 years older, or 1,000 years older? What are we going for, folks? Let's have a look here. Let's have a look at these answers.
Right, let's have a look. Oh, thank you, Jeannie. Flower Girl said, where I live, our church started a food pantry where people who were moving out of our rural neighbourhood would donate all the food from their pantry that would not move with them. We have a free food shelf at the church now for anyone. Well, that's brilliant, isn't it? Something as simple as that, and it makes a huge difference to people who are struggling. Right.
Right there. On the first podium...
I'm trying not to laugh. I'm being really serious.
You're going to be really serious.
Oh dear.
I don't know what I'm going to do right now. I've had a long day as well. I climbed a tower this week.
I'm calm.
Right there.
I'm professional. If you believe that, you believe anything. Oh, what happens when you let a panda eat some NH4 plus, whatever that is, sounds very chemically, pandemonium. Oh, I'm sure all you science buffs will really know what that means. I can get the idea. It's very good. Don't know where you get these jokes from.
If you're with us tonight, all 53 of you.
I think if they can hear us, they're with us tonight.
All 55 is going up.
It's going up.
They
It's going
know
up.
something
They're all
special is
rushing in.
going to happen. I'm now going to make an announcement that I have never made before.
Oh, is this something I don't know?
No
You
one
surprised
got it
me.
right.
Oh, never.
Absolutely no
Wow.
one has got the correct answer. Not a single one. Because the answer was 1,000 years older. It is, folks. Yeah.
Wow.
It was built in 637. So it was 1,000 years old.
So was the answer C?
The answer was C.
So you got everybody bringing in C now. So the first clever people to bring in their C then was Lexi B, followed by Rachel Bailey, followed by Ed Creative. They were the first three in. Well done. And then lots of other people coming in. Right, Beata seems to be having trouble with the sound, but other people don't. So I don't think it's us, Beata. Sorry if it is, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, absolutely no one picked C.
That's amazing,
Which is
isn't it?
understandable, because when you start to think about schools and education, you're thinking, surely they wouldn't have had a school 1,400 years ago. But of course they would, because they were linked to the monasteries. Now a lot of people make the mistake of thinking, because of all these Norman churches around the place, that Christianity arrived with the Normans. No, that was their form of Christianity. Christianity arrived with the saints who came over from Ireland, etc. And so there were monasteries going up in Wales and all over England and throughout the United Kingdom way back. The oldest school is, I believe, at Canterbury, and that's back. This school was built in the 7th century, but Canterbury was built in the 6th century BC. They built a school.
Right, we're going to have an experiment now. Right, listen for this. Phil, click a button. We're trying to figure out where this noise is coming from.
Click a button.
Click a button. That's Phil clicking buttons. And Ed thinks it could be Phil swinging his chair against the table.
No,
No, it's not that.
Right in the
So I
table.
can't think what, if it's not that, I have no idea.
And Anne Goodwin has come up with a suggestion. A poltergeist.
Could be. No, there's no real room for the poltergeist behind you. It's too snug.
I haven't heard the word poltergeist since Rent-A-Ghost when I was a kid.
Right.
And I used to have poltergeists on there on Rent-A-Ghost kids program. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. I'll do my happy news.
Go on then.
I'm going to do my happy news, and I want a jingle.
Well, go on then. I'll give you a jingle if I can find it.
Right then. Say it with flowers. Now, if there are any people out there who have recently had an anniversary or a special event and thought it would be nice to give some flowers, as I do on occasions, we may just feel a little bit mean compared to this guy. But when you hear the full story...
Phil's never done this for me.
Say it with flowers. Kansas-based farmer Lee Wilson has planted a massive field of sunflowers as a surprise gift for his wife. Lee told ABC News that he planted the 1.2 million sunflowers on 80 acres of land for Rini to celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary.
That's a lot of sunflowers.
With his son's help, he secretly planted the field back in May, kept the wife away from the area, and then took her around on their anniversary for her to see sunflowers for as far as the eye could see. Rini said, "It made me feel very special. It couldn't have been a more perfect anniversary gift than a field of sunflowers." But of course, as I thought afterwards, being a farmer, he would then take his harvester and he would harvest the 1.2 million sunflowers and probably profit off the present that he gave the wife.
Now that really flattens it a bit, doesn't it?
No, because she'd be thrilled.
Yeah, she'd spend,
She
innit?
can then he can take her on a Caribbean cruiser when he sells all the sunflower seeds. But there we go, 1.2 million flowers, folks, for the missus for 50 years.
Yeah, Peggy, it could be Manky because he is blowing the teapot again. And talking about flowers, we had really bad rain again in the night, and my two cactus dahlias had snapped. Well, two of them. So I put them in there, my little OXO bottle that we found. And look at these. I love these cactus ones. They're all spiky. You can see why they call them cactus ones. And ooh, they're really tactile. You just squidge them all the time. Oh, I love them. They're supposed to be purple. They're not, are they? They're pink. Because at the moment I thought, right, well this year I'm going to do this. The bit of garden at the one side of my seat is going to be a cool garden, and the other side a hot garden, because it seems to be quite fashionable. I thought, well, let's see if I can do it. It didn't work. I've ended up plants. What was it? A white hollyhock turned out to be pink. These purple flowers turned out to be pink, and I got, well, it's just a complete mix, so it doesn't look like there's any theme to it at all.
But it looks very nice.
But it does look very pretty. But I just got to mix things up a bit more ready for next year, just give up on the coloured idea.
One of the nice things was that earlier in the year, Caroline and I went for a few little rides to around the garden centres, and we'd pick up a couple of bargain plants, and perhaps we'd pick up something we liked. We were on our holiday and we picked up our rose. And then you put them in the garden, and it's much better than buying other things, because then weeks or months later you go down and a plant that you bought, which was about this size, is now like this and full of flowers and colour. So you get a lot more out of it by
well,
buying.
Arthur, that we bought right back at the beginning of the season, that's our rose, Arthur Bell is called. He's got another lot of buds coming now, so we're going to have another couple of flowers.
And he's in the garden now, isn't he? I've planted him now.
I tell you what, you see, my rose was in a pot like that, and so you think, oh, my rose is this big, and then you put it in the ground, but of course all this goes underground, so you think, where's it gone? It looks tiny now. And Michelle Grady said, our 26th is next week, and he's listening to this. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Come on then, get planting those sunflower seeds.
Yeah, 1.2
You need
million.
lots of manure, lots of water. You've got a week.
Right then, shall we have another question?
We shall.
Now, as I mentioned earlier in the show, we do like our food on this particular show. and people do like to discuss what they've been eating or going to eat, and we obviously included some footage of the bakery during our video.
Yep.
And I have a bakery footage related question.
I hope you were eagle-eyed because this is a difficult one. Lexi's in very keen. £2.40.
There was definitely some nice treats on offer in the window at Simon the Pieman's shop.
Brilliant name. I
Simon.
bet he was really called Robert.
Did anyone notice as well that the fruit and veg shop, the florists and fruit shop, was run by a Mr. D. Williams, and he'd called his shop Sweet Williams?
Very clever.
Yeah, they're into the names a bit. So in the window of Simon the Pieman, there were some nice treats, including coffee and walnut cake, Victoria sponge, and gluten-free chocolate fudge cake. And you could have a slice of either of those while sitting in the cafe, and cream on it for how much? Was it A, £3, B, £5, or C, £7?
Go.
Now, there were three prices on the label. There was the price to take it out, the price to eat it in, and the price to eat it in with cream. So I'm after the price eating in with cream.
Right, happy birthday, Bonnie Tyler fan. I will be having some Jaffa cakes for my birthday treat later. Oh, I love Jaffa cakes. I don't know how you eat them. And I don't know if you have Jaffa cakes over in the States and places like that. But I like to pick all the chocolate off. Then I peel the orange bit off the sponge. Then I eat the sponge and then I eat the orange bit separately.
I just think they're bite size.
Oh, you can't do. I could easily eat a box. There's only 12 in a box, and they just disappear, don't they?
The
If you
French
scrunch
make
one
them
up, there'd be nothing
slightly
to it.
smaller and thicker chocolate.
They do, and they have orange right to the edge. Like with the British
Yeah.
Jaffa cake, the McVitie's ones, they got like a flat bit where the chocolate touches the sponge. Now I know I sound like I'm really overly obsessed with Jaffa cakes. I probably am. But there are differences to Jaffa cakes.
And of course, they are cakes, not biscuits, even though they're in the biscuit aisle.
Yes.
Because they're in a box, in a packet. They look like a packet of biscuits, but they're not. They're cakes. And I have been told that the difference between a biscuit and a cake is if you take a cake and a biscuit and put them out in the room, the biscuit will go from hard to soft and the cake will go from soft to hard.
This is true.
So there we go. Now you know. So you'll know if somebody's left out your Jaffa cakes because you go to pop them in your mouth and they go crunch.
Oh, a lady
They're
we
not
used to
supposed to
know,
be
she always
crunchy.
used to buy me Jaffa cakes because we'd go visiting. She had a biscuit barrel and she would buy banana custard creams for Phil and Jaffa cakes for me.
And keep them in the
keep
same
it in the same
pack.
tin. She'd open the packets, put them in the tin and shut it.
So
and so
she'd
they
have
always tasted the
banana
banana.
flavoured chocolate on
you
you.
can't do this to Jaffa cakes. It was so lovely of her to buy them though, and I still enjoyed them. But it was strange having a banana flavour to the sponge.
Okay, it's interesting to see the prices because it shows just how much you value a slice of cake, cream, and sit down to eat it. So it doesn't include a cup of tea.
Now, Beata and Anne are hearing like funny banging, and I can't figure out what on earth it is. Sorry, I'm not banging anything. Phil isn't banging anything.
Hang on, is that touching?
Ah, wait a minute. Try that
Right.
now, because Phil keeps moving the table a bit with his feet, but
Yeah, and the
metal
mic
of the-
was up against the arm of the camera.
yeah, so they could be doing that.
How's
Let
that?
us know if it gets better now.
There we go. We
Hopefully
may have
that's it.
solved it. If not, it's a poltergeist. You'll have to live with it. Right, the correct answer
Sorted.
was
Brilliant.
£5.
Mm.
£5 for a slice of cake with cream, sat at the table with a spoon and a plate to eat it. £3.60 if you took it out. £4.10 if you ate it without cream. See? I know my numbers.
You do.
So it's 90p for the cream and 50p for the seat. Of course, if in our country, if you sit down, you have to pay VAT. And in our country, VAT, value added tax, is 20%. So whenever you buy food, if you take it away, it's VAT free. If you stay in the shop and eat it, if you take it away, it's food. If you sit down, it's a luxury. So it changes and you get 20% added. But it's £5, folks. So we're going to go down because the first three people all wanted to pay £3. But Beata decided that she'd pay £5. So she's got the gold podium for
Well
paying the
done,
£5.
Beata.
Carlin, straight behind her, takes the silver, and then
Was that Carlin, was it?
Yeah,
Well
Carlin.
done, Carlin.
And then it's Lexi B with the
Well
B.
done, Lexi.
Yeah, so we got Beata, Carlin, and Lexi. They are the first 3 Bs on this one. So there we go. Yeah, £5. Which again, if you look at the town and the setting and everything else, I suppose it's not unreasonable. But in fairness, when Beata was over and we were met up at Blaenavon, that I thought was a humdinger, because that was a decent portion of custard.
Phil still raves about his apple crumble.
That was a decent piece of crumble, a decent portion of custard in a proper china bowl with a decent spoon, sat at a table with a lovely view, great company, £3. Fair play. But I think Beata thought, yeah, but this is rye. They charge more bear, they got timber buildings.
You see the price of the houses?
Ooh, 5. Normally with they say, no, this is 100,000, this is 200,000, this is 300,000. This is 1.1 million.
Oh, they were lovely though.
The cheap houses were $750,000.
We could afford a shed in their garden.
How did we end up with a son and daughter-in-law and grandson living in that part of the world, eh?
Minnie B said, why did the panda bring a bamboo to the fight? Because bamboo shoots. Oh, very good. And Phyllis said, do you tip in the UK? You can, but it's not compulsory. But then, like some places you go, you pay up front. So you walk into, say, a brewer's fair.
You never tip in Weatherspoons because you pay at the
same thing. You walk up, you order your food, you come away and you eat your food and then you go. If you're going to go somewhere where they come to your table, waitress service, there's an implication you will tip. They tend to make a lot of effort now. They don't, thank you for being a good customer today, love, Kylie, and a little kiss or something.
And they give you a couple of sweets.
Yeah. So they are working at getting tips. And some people do, some people don't.
Yeah, same with
But it's not compulsory.
Say not mandatory, but in the States, but sort of expected. Ultimately, if you're somewhere, and the general rule of thumb is about 10%.
Yeah.
General rule of thumb is about 10% if you've had good service. And I always say to people when it comes to a tip, it is not part of the price. The people are being paid for doing their job, but when they go above and beyond, then your gratitude is, because I think they call it something like that in
gratuities,
isn't it?
So, yeah.
Yeah, so it's showing gratitude. And there are occasions when, I've got to be honest, we were actually in a Weatherspoons some years ago down in Plymouth, and I said to the guy serving us, I said, is it possible to give a tip here? Because the service we've had has been absolutely excellent, and I would like to give a tip if it's possible, because there are times when you actually feel, well, people have gone above and beyond, and I think that's what makes the difference. That's what makes the difference. Yeah, so there we go.
Well, we got one more question to go, and it's nearly 10 o'clock, so here we go.
Indeed it is. Right then, let's see how observant you all were. Caroline was very observant, because when we were in the gun garden, first of all, Caroline, being very observant, realised that they were probably, the 3 cannons in the centre were probably replicas, because the guy who made them in 1980.
A bit of a giveaway.
Which was a little bit of a giveaway. She also noticed that the cannonballs were welded together to form a pyramid, therefore it was hollow inside and there were only balls around on the outside forming the pyramid. Very observant. How observant were you? How many cannonballs made up one pyramid? Was it A41, B61 or C85?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. Wait, go. I'll just put some, no. Dip, there we go.
Yeah, we'll count them anyway, go on.
There we go. I put a go in. Didn't even get a capital letter.
We're okay anyway, because Lexi got in before the go, but she put 30 and that's not even on the list.
Oh, there we are. We're okay then. Ooh, right. Now the questions are coming in. The answers, not the questions. It's getting late, you know me.
Any one of these numbers is scientifically possible. Because I did the calculation and I worked out exactly how many there would be if it was 5 high, 4 high or 6 high. So it's all depending on the height. Because obviously the top there's going to be 1. The next layer, there's going to be 4, because you've got the 4 with 1 on the top. Then on the next layer, you're going to have
a lot.
8, because you're going to have 3 down the side and then 1 on each side. Next layer, you're going to have 12. So you're going to have 4 down each side and 2 either end, because they're going to be, it's going to appear to be 4, 4, 4, 4, but it's not, because obviously the 1 on the end makes it the other. So you go in 1, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, etc., etc. So depending on how many layers there are, determines how many balls there are.
But are we counting the interior ones as well?
There's none in there. It was
Were
well,
there?
no,
You
it was
sure?
well, yeah, that's what, why would you waste time making metal balls in the middle when you were
To make
welding
it
them
look
together?
authentic.
It didn't look authentic. You told everybody they were welded. So as I said in the
I
question,
thought they was lost in there. So.
welded together to make a hollow pyramid.
Right.
Aha.
Oh, it gets very contentious, the show. Oh, Anne said I typed S at first instead of an A. Right, so what is the answer? It's time to get it on.
Yeah, you don't have to panic because it was an A anyway.
Oh, there we go.
It was B. It was 61, folks. 61.
There we go.
There we go.
I had no
So
idea.
the first correct answer was Lynette Evans.
Well done, Lynette.
The second correct answer was Rachel Bailey.
Well done, Rachel.
And the third correct answer, trying to catch me out, because I always say it's Lexi B with a B, it's Lexi B with a 61.
Oh.
See, I did miss them one sometimes. So there we've got it, folks. They were our final question. And we've got, who did I say? Lynette, Rachel, and Lexi are on the
Well
podium.
done, Lynette, Rachel and Lexi.
And here's a quick question for you, because we haven't got the Manky counts. The Guy Fawkes attempted to destroy Parliament in the 1630s. At the beginning of the 1600s. How long ago did they repeal the act that said that their execution was to be celebrated annually on November the 5th? This country was celebrating the death of Guy Fawkes until when? Was it 1929, 1949 or 1959?
Go.
Got to put the number in this time. Do you think it was 1929, 1949 or 1959? What are you thinking, folks?
Oh, people are putting letters.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. We'll go with the letters if they want to, because there'll be A, B, C.
Well, we are getting lots of C's.
And I tell you what, everybody's getting it right. To make up for the question that no one got right, we have got so
couple of wrong answers, but
many
lots
right
and lots of
answers
right
this
answers.
time. And the very first right answer was from Adam, then Lexi, then Colin, then Beata, then Lisa, then Ed, then Rachel. Oh, lots and lots of correct answers going down the page. Yeah, 1959, that's when they repealed the act. But here's something interesting that you can go away with. St. Peter's School in York was the one place exempt from celebrating on November the 5th, out of respect for one of the old boys of the school, because he was Guy Fawkes. There, I love my history. Well, I think we got to go now.
Yes, time to go to bed. I'm over here. I don't know, wherever you are, may not be. Some of
It
you
won't be
I know
then, then it'll be time to wash the breakfast
time to
dishes.
get up. Right, so thank you ever so much for joining us. It's been
Yes.
great fun. And we'll see you all next time. But until then, don't forget.
Have fun. Bye.